Wangari, the world singled you out with the Nobel Prize, but do you also sense that the African voice is more present here than it normally is in a conference like this?
Unlike many other conferences, the African people and the African leadership and technicians and experts have been working very hard to prepare for this conference. And that is good. And how they are dealing with the issues here is an indication of that hard work that they did before they came to Copenhagen.
You know, African unity was a sort of pipe dream, and anyway, the colonialists left a divided Africa. Do you think there is, therefore, actual unity here from the African continent?
Well, I hope that what we are seeing is a movement that definitely our forefathers of modern Africa did try very hard to work together and to try to unite Africa. Now we have an African Union that I know is focusing very much on a united Africa. It's not easy because we have for over 200 years been a divided continent, which is partly the reason why we have been so exploited. So it would be wonderful if our leaders would appreciate the value of unity.
But then do you think climate change is the cause that has brought Africa together?
I think this is one issue where they could actually work together, but it is easy for the leadership to realize that many of these issues you can only win if you work together. But the issue of climate change is a very unique problem because science tells us that Africa will be very negatively impacted, even though she is the one area which has not contributed much to greenhouse gases. And I think that the African leadership appreciates the fact that partly because of our positioning, partly because we do not have the capital or the technology, partly because we have a desert, the Sahara Desert to the north and the Kalahari Desert to southwest, that there is great need for us to work together. And I was very impressed by them also uniting around the Congo forest. I'm the goodwill ambassador of the Congo forest, and I know that many of them realize that without the Congo forest, Africa is one big desert. So these are issues that have really helped to unite them and to realize that they may be separated in these small states, but they have one destiny.
Mm-hmm. Are you a Baaba Maal fan?
Very much. You can see he's such a wonderful musician, and really so cooling, so soothing is his music.
And you're an ambassador for the cause to some extent.
Of course, like Wangari, I'm so pleased to see also that a woman from Africa can really lead to give information, the right information that we want to get. Because sometimes it's the lack of information. And it's not just information that she's giving us. She's a symbol for us also. Because women are at the center of everything in the whole world, but especially on the African continent.
And what would you play that you feel might be appropriate for?
Song for Women.
Yeah.
It's from my last album.
Go for it.
Tino inde sodoma topitoda jom galemada kodum woni faro.
Wonderful. And of course we don't understand any of the words, either of us, but we know exactly what he was singing about.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know which language were you using.
I'm singing in Fulani. It's this language for the nomadic people from West Africa to East Africa. Yeah. And
literally right through to your Kenya.
Yeah, to Kenya. And I'm talking about one proverb we used to say: women should stay at home, make the food for everyone, and raise up children. I say it's very good because you have the ability to do it much more than men till now. But since we are starting to see them outside, at the front line, when it comes to politics, when it comes to culture, when it comes to economy, things are starting to change little by little in Africa, and that's good to see.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very, very nice theme. Do you want us to do some shots around while we continue to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an absolutely wonderfully appropriate. As soon as you begin to see the woman outside the village, outside the home, and you begin to see her on the world stage, you realize she doesn't just cook the meals. She can actually
have something on the plate. Yeah.
She has something else.
Yeah.
And it is good because it's, this is the new generation. And this new generation appreciates women who can make a greater contribution. And Africa needs that. Africa needs everybody to put their contribution so that we can move forward.
How are you seeing the conference yourself? I mean, what do you make of it?
Well, you know, I'm this optimist who always sees a silver lining in everything, because it's very important for us to keep moving forward and never to sit down and moan. And one of the silver linings in Copenhagen is the fact that we have so many heads of state that are coming here. And I think that's a good indication, because whatever happens here, we will need political will. These are the governments who eventually have to convince their parliaments, convince their citizens that they can commit the amount of money that we are telling them to commit, that they can introduce laws that will force companies and individuals to adopt a new lifestyle that reduces their emissions. So political will is extremely important, and I think we should not minimize that. Because you can get a document, but if you don't have political will, it will never be endorsed.
Political will plus the force of law.
Precisely. And this they will have to do when they get back. But of course we have to get out of here with a document that has the statement that will eventually have to be domesticated back home. So we are wishing the best to the negotiators who are still working hard until early in the morning hours. Sometimes we forget that there are people who are not going to sleep because they're so busy working. And although they are worried about full stops and commas and brackets, these are all very important.
I mean, the only question at the end of the day is whether you will really get these big powers ever to sign a treaty, actual legally binding treaty.
Well, look here, I actually think that if they don't, it is because their citizens don't support them. And their citizens will not support them until they see the moral obligation they have for the lifestyle that they have been living.
But yeah, that involves education.
That involves a lot of education, and I think that all of us have to do a lot of that education when we go home. Because even in developing countries, it is also very important that when we go home we realize that even if we do get the financial support that we are looking for, the actual work has to be done by us. We have to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work. And we have to have commitment of governments at home. And these governments have to make sure that the money will be used for the purpose for which it is being given. So there is a lot of obligation on all sides.
Are you playing tonight, Bob?
Yeah, I'm playing tonight. I'm talking and playing tonight 2 songs with African Talks Climate, with the Civil Service class.
And tomorrow, are you going to be here?
I'm going to leave tomorrow because I have other things to do in Africa.
Ah, you're going back already?
Yeah.
His loyalty is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. What a piece of history. We don't get them sitting down together on camera while he plays. It's a very nice tableau. All to fight climate change. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Baaba. And thank you, Wangari.